Hello, everyone. Welcome to Digitized, the podcast about technology and anything technology related. I am Plaguex, and I am accompanied by Dark
Hi.
and Soapy.
Hello.
Before this episode starts, I have an announcement. Digitized has a Discord. The link is in the description. Today's episode is about VR. VR stands for virtual reality. The three major companies that produce VR headsets are Oculus, HTC, and Valve. Oculus makes low-cost but high-quality headsets, HTC makes more mid-tier headsets, and Valve makes high-tier headsets. I personally have the Oculus Rift S. I've had it for like 2 months now, and I think virtual reality is really fun and could also be like a really great tool, like learning tool for like schools, as long as they limit the apps that people can go to. But what are your guys's um what are your guys' opinions and thoughts and experience with virtual reality, starting with Dark?
Well, I've had my VR headset for about a year. I have an HTC Vive, and I feel it could be a very good thing that you could like Plague was saying. You could teach. You could heck. You could even play sports. I mean, there's games that allow you to do that in that. So I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities that could happen.
Soapy, what about you?
Well, for VR, I think it'd be pretty cool to. I'm pretty sure they're developing like full body suits that track your movement and everything. Pretty sure they already have like full body movement tracking or whatever.
Yeah, they are.
I'm
They
pretty
do.
sure they're working on stuff to make it so like, let's say like Pavlov, if you get like shot or whatever, how like it can like tingle or whatever, like make your part of it vibrate where you got shot. Like like a suit. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and they're they're making those. They're called haptic feedback suits, if I remember correctly. They're still like in testing and not really for consumers. They're more um actually, maybe not, but yeah, they already exist and they're being tested, but like they're like $5,000, so they're not viable to actually use yet. But like in the future, when they start getting cheaper and better, like that could be a really cool thing. Along with haptic gloves, which right now there are some that can like reduce your movement, like if say you're grabbing something, they like stop your fingers from going past the object, so you can actually like physically hold things that don't exist. It would be cool if there's like you could have like a huge setup with like a bunch of like wires or something, I don't know, that could like stop you from moving if you touch like anything in VR. Like say there's a desk in VR, your hand touches it in VR, your hand stops in real life, and that I think that would be like a really cool thing to make.
Well, they already have some gloves like that. I think they're made by the same people who are making the haptic stuff.
Yeah.
But there's just one thing. I would be worried that like the motor, like if you continue to try and like grab it, even when you're holding it. I mean, you'd have to be, not knowing what you were doing. But if for whatever reason you do that, it could like break your hand if you try too hard, or
Yeah.
like the motor could like crush your hand or whatever.
I think they have to develop like strength for the motors. Like it's a fine line. They have to be strong enough so like when you're just trying to grab something, they limit your movement, but weak enough so if they like malfunction and like go like backwards or something, if you like clench your fists, you can like everyone can stop them and not get hurt. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
What are you guys' opinions on like the VR games?
Okay, so I only have a few because they're like $30 each, and I didn't want to get like too many right at the start. But they're really fun, especially Pavlov VR. That's like an experience that you can't get anywhere else. Budget Cuts is pretty fun. Beat Saber is really fun. And Roblox VR surprisingly has a lot of games that like if you're playing with friends and just messing around, it can be hilarious to play in VR. So the games are really a lot of people when they think of VR they don't want to get VR. They either say it's too expensive, which they are pretty expensive. Like the cheapest ones are like $500, but they're getting cheaper, so they're becoming more viable to get. And also the games aren't very good, which it just isn't true. Sure, there are some games that aren't very good, but there are a lot of games that make up for that and being like amazing.
Well, there's some headsets that are actually they're really cheap. They're not HTC, Oculus, Steam, but they still work, and you
Yeah,
can play games
but not
on
the
them.
best. Like, okay, so something that a lot of people do, they get like Google Cardboard or something, and then say, oh, "I tried virtual reality. It's not that good, but they're using like the most basic VR headset that you just need a phone, and it works. Like, I don't think that's a really good look for VR if like people are just getting these like basic phone based VR headsets that aren't good and then thinking that's like what VR is about.
Yeah, I mean it's not even close to what it is. It's just okay. So when you're like okay, never mind. It's you can't move around. You can't grab anything. You can't walk around. You're just there. You can't do anything.
Yeah. Um oh yeah, so I was talking like at the very beginning about how it could be a great learning tool. Like one thing that already exists like is Google Earth VR, and that could be like really cool to get children like interested in learning about like different places on Earth if they could physically like get in a VR headset and move around that area, right? And I'm pretty sure my school was actually planning on doing that, like, and that would have been really cool. But sadly, there wasn't enough time in the year to actually make that happen. But I think it's a really cool idea, and I'm pretty sure some schools are already doing that. And I think children that go to those schools would like be much happier to learn.
Honestly, you know how school is boring. It would make it like 10 times better. Like
Yeah,
Yeah, because most kids find learning boring and stuff, and VR headsets is like an entire new realm of learning. So I think that'd be pretty cool to try out.
yeah. Another area that VR headsets are really good in is for training people for jobs. Like they're already being sold to companies that have like demos, like VR headsets that have demos for like different jobs where you can actually interact with like different objects that you'll need to use. Like I know that's one of the main things that like the haptic gloves that like restrict your finger movement are being used for like those demos that can help you like learn what you need to do in real life but with no danger.
one thing they could use it for is like surgery. I mean, a doctor could be like halfway across the world and be like really good, and they could be doing a surgery on someone, like controlling a robot.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, like it could be like hooked up like
I'm
over
pretty sure
like
that's already a
internet.
thing, though.
Yeah, it's a thing, but like surgery robots are a thing, but not like someone could be like in a VR headset and like
Yeah.
uh, on one side of the world and on the other side of the world, um, they're controlling in the virtual world a real robot and doing an actual surgery.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. And that like if one country doesn't have like very good doctors and like can't like the doctors there can't really reliably perform a surgery that could actually save like a lot of lives that like have to have surgery but wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, I feel like that would be like a major step that people actually need to take in order to like I don't know, like figure out how to, you know, become a doctor or whatever.
Yeah,
Like they could do that and they could have like a dummy, right? And they could be like across the world and they could be performing on a dummy as like their test, you know?
yeah. I think in the future, like this isn't like, and this is like a different topic right now, but I think in the future, like everyone could like have like, so VR headsets are getting smaller and smaller. So and they already are VR headsets that don't need wires at all. So they're portable now. So I think in the future they could be reduced to like glasses or something, and then everyone could like wear them, and then they could like be like walking around in the real world, and then just turn on the VR glasses to do something in VR that's like part of their job. Like for example, like having to do a surgery on like a different side of the world, that could be an example what to do, and then right after you could just toggle back into the real world and continue on with your day.
Wasn't I thought Google was doing a little something like that? They were making glasses. I thought that you could kind of it was like kind of like digital, where like you could pull up things, and then like there's stuff on your hands, like gloves or whatever.
Yeah,
You could pull up stuff with your hands and stuff, and like search the internet with just like glasses on your head, so you could do it in like class and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're called the Google glasses. I don't think they're like really virtual reality, but like they're like a step towards that.
Yeah,
I mean, VR is definitely advancing in like how useful it is and like you were saying, like they're getting smaller and more compact and lighter, honestly.
yeah. What do you guys want from VR like in the future?
Uh, I think right now it's very good, but in the future maybe it could have like you know that movie Ready Player One.
Yeah,
I've actually never seen that movie.
like a
I thought
huge. Oh,
I
go
heard
ahead.
that movie was pretty good,
And
but I have never actually watched it.
it's like there's, I haven't either, but I know the basic premise. There's like this huge virtual world called the Oasis that like everybody signs into, and like pretty sure it like saves like what you do in it, and like it's always saving. And there's something like, so I'm I don't know. Dark, have you seen the movie?
Yeah, I watched it like 4 times.
Okay, so how do they move around in the Oasis? Do they actually like get sucked into like the VR headset or something, move around, or
No,
do they?
they have like this treadmill thing that
Okay,
like
yeah,
I think they're already making it.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
like
That's what I thought. Like they're they're make they already have those like in a beta form, that like there's basically two treadmills on each other, and they move depending on where you move to keep you in the center of the treadmill.
yeah.
I also think that taste would be pretty cool to have.
Yeah,
It'd be like almost impossible to do without hooking up to your brain or anything. But if you could actually taste things in VR, like you know in RPGs where you have to eat things to, heal or whatever,
yeah.
I think it'd be cool if you could actually taste what you were eating.
Yeah, and also something that I think will be cool, like all all like senses in VR would be cool in general, but taste is one of the ones that I really think would be amazing. Sight we obviously already have, but then feel would be like another thing. Like there's already gloves that help you feel hot and cold, um, and there are already gloves that limit your movement. So it we could like in the future there could be something where like it has a bunch of like textures in the glove, which can like swap out like right in front of your fingers to like make you actually be able to feel whatever material you're touching.
Yeah, that would be awesome, honestly. And then there's one more thing. There's smell. Um, they already kind of made one, but it got banned like everywhere. Um,
Mm.
I think it would be really cool for smell because you could, like then you would be like fully immersed with sight,
Yeah.
and
Uh,
everything.
I think smell would be the easiest one to represent because like, and obviously I don't know anything about how to make like any mechanical things, but you could just have like this like machine that can produce like different smells in your room, and then it just produces them like depending on where you are in the game. The only
Yeah.
thing is, like, when you're actually making a game, I could see, like, trying to implement sight, smell, like, all the senses. Like, you would have to, like, obviously, it wouldn't just recognize what is what and then instantly, like, hook up all your different devices to make you, like, feel, hear, smell, anything like that. You'd have to actually have to, like, code, like, different materials to like hook up with different machines, and I could see that making it significantly harder to make um, passable VR games in the future, and therefore leading to less good VR games, and like that could be a problem.
But there could also be more quality ones.
Yeah,
I
just
mean, like
spaced out.
look. I don't know when VR first started getting, you know, good. Those games were not too good, and then it started getting better, and now we're like quality of like Half Life Alex or Pavlov.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Pavlov is pretty much just CS:GO except like with added VR functionality. But Half-Life Alex, like I haven't played it, but just from looking at it, first of all, it looks beautiful. Like, and I'm amazed that someone could make like, well, not someone, like a even just like a huge team could make a game that looks that good while also being in VR, and also like the mechanics of it, like you can like climb on different like pipes and stuff, and actually like grab onto the pipes and just like shimmy along them, and that's like really cool. And I think like if there's if there's more quality games like Half-Life Alex, and also one of them Boneworks, if that's the correct name, I forgot if it was, but like
Yeah, it
if
is.
more quality games like that come out for VR, more people are gonna get it, get VR headsets, and then it's just going to keep. It's going to be exponential growth, and like eventually it's going to be like extremely popular. And also, since they keep improving how they make them, it's going to be pretty cheap too.
Yeah, I mean, the more people buy it, the more the companies are going to be like, hey, people are actually buying this. Let's start making the quality better and lighter and,
Yeah,
portable.
and then they'll also make them, because supply and demand. They'll make them need to invent ways to make more VR headsets faster and better, and then they get they will like the companies will get more money, so they'll keep making better VR headsets, and then the consumers are gonna keep buying them because they keep getting better. So that yeah, it's just going to be like I have a feeling that VR can actually be like a really good and like popular industry in the future. It already is, but like more so in the future.
Yeah, all it needs is, I don't know, like the domino effect. More people start buying it, and then it goes like through the roof in sales, and they start creating more things, and more people start buying those new things. So it's just like an endless chain of, new prototypes and new headsets.
Yeah, and also, so I said earlier that like the three main companies are Oculus, HTC, and Valve, but like there are a lot of other companies popping up making really good headsets that I just didn't mention because I don't really know much about them, so I don't really want to like say any false information. But there are other companies that are also popping up, making better headsets and making more like competition in the business, which like is really good.
Yeah, and more competition means more money for everyone. Like
And
every company. Like it's just gonna every headset is gonna get cheaper, which then more people would buy. Like it literally comes back to the same thing. VR just growing through the roof and just constantly creating new things. Like it's gonna
yeah,
repeat that no matter what.
and the headsets will get cheaper in price, but hopefully not cheaper in quality because if if they got cheaper in quality, that could be like a big problem and make VR decline. But as long as they keep getting better quality and also cheaper in price, I think it has a lot of potential to be like very popular.
I was thinking about getting a headset, but I'm just gonna wait until all the technology gets better and the prices go down a bit. Because when I buy a headset, I don't want to have it, something that'll be better in like a couple days or like weeks or maybe a year or something like that. Because they're pretty big investment, I would say.
Yeah, even even the low tier but good quality ones, you're still 500, which isn't a lot. Like because like compared to before, like right now the highest tier quality, the Valve Index is 1,000, and like a long time ago, well not a long time ago, but like before that could like $1,000 could get you like the lowest of the lowest tier VR headsets, but now like that's just the top of the VR headsets and the cheapest and well, not the cheapest, but you can get a good quality one for 500 like I did, and like so obviously that opens it up to more people. It still has a long way to go to being accessible, but like this is like a huge start right now.
Yeah, I mean, if the companies start releasing newer kinds and like the Vive Cosmos was kind of just a big fail. I mean,
Yeah, especially with like
I'm gonna
tracking
be
issues.
honest. Yeah, they didn't do good on that one, but if they start making better ones, people are gonna stop thinking about the Vive Cosmos and going, "Oh, that's not good. I don't know if I want VR," and they're gonna start getting it if they start making like higher quality.
Yeah, I think they need to be more. They need to release more consistently good headsets, and the only one I can think of really that wasn't that good was the Vive Cosmos, but I don't really like. I haven't really heard of many other ones outside of Oculus, HTC, and Valve. But yeah,
I think there was one Oculus one that didn't go so well either. I mean, it's obviously gonna happen. Like, there's gonna be problems. Like, it's new.
and
So,
I figured out the other VR headset, if you can call it a VR headset, that didn't do well, and that was the Virtual Boy, which is pretty obvious why it failed. But
It
I mean,
literally
it
gave you migraines. That's
exists.
why.
Yeah, it
It was an attempt, but I think it was a good attempt for the time, but it
yeah.
was
I
very
mean,
poor.
for how long ago that was good for how long ago it was. Like,
I mean, the
how
screen was
long?
completely red. It probably hurt to look at after a while.
Plus, the
Yeah.
problem with it was way too expensive. So like, I
And I'm pretty sure it was uncomfortable.
yeah, I think so obviously they're really expensive headsets right now, but like they're 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 getting sales because they're not meant for like the everyday person to get into VR. They're meant for people that have had VR for like years and are really into it and are willing to spend like thousands of dollars on a top tier VR headset, and that there are a lot of those people that have been with it for like been with VR for a while that are buying those, and then there's also the entry level headsets to get like more people to get the high tier ones in like a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, there's people that are getting the max quality, and then because like they know it's good, and they've had VR, like you were saying, and then there's again people with the not that much, money, and they're like, hey, I guess I'll just try this out, and then they all of a sudden they're like, oh hey, this is actually really good, and they start buying better quality headsets, and again, it leads to the companies getting more money, and then better headsets. Like it's all leading back to the company's money.
Yeah, and if they keep getting money, they're gonna keep making more. Okay, so I think we didn't really talk about like the VR games much so far, but I think so. I think in the future there are a lot of potentials for different types of games, such as like horror games have a lot of potentials because like you feel like you're actually there. Like I have Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted, and it's absolutely terrifying. Like even like for example, in the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 one, night 2, like even though even night 1, even though like there's it's impossible to even get like jump scared or anything or to like fail, it's still terrifying because like you feel like you're really there in that environment even though you're not.
I mean, there's also the game called Face Your Fears. That is, I don't have it, but I've seen videos on it, and that's really good. I mean, you could say someone's like completely terrified of like clowns or something, and they play that game. Like, it would just, if it's real enough, people are gonna like I mean, it's called Face Your Fears, so you're gonna end up overcoming it eventually if you play it enough.
Yeah. And so uh okay, never mind. I've completely forgot what I was going to say.
I also think like a good topic for a VR game would be like, I don't know, the Outlast games.
I'm actually not too familiar with them.
Well, they're one of the most terrifying games so far, and then there's Alien Isolation. Those are the two most terrifying ones, and I think if they made those into VR games, people would buy it. Like,
Yeah. I figured out what I was gonna say. The thing with horror games is the graphics are gonna have to be extremely realistic for it to work. Like if it's like a scary premise, but like everything looks awful and it just like it makes it more funny because of the like awful graphics than it is scary.
yeah, I mean, like in Help Wanted, that is like the most realistic graphics. Like you can interact with basically everything that's on your desk there. Like you can grab the, I don't know, a cupcake or a letter or something and throw it out in the hallway. Like,
Yeah, Steel Wool really did a good job with that game.
I hope they release another one, honestly.
They are. It's not VR. Well, this isn't episode on Final Phrase, which actually would be a good episode idea. But yeah, they are making another one that isn't VR. But yeah,
Um yeah, and I also think the shooters, the shooter games, like FPS, those are getting really good as well. Like Pavlov, for example, and Boneworks, they have amazing graphics, and like it's just getting better. Like a while ago, it was like I don't know Gary's Mod VR mod, and it was okay. And now it's that. Just imagine how good it's gonna get. Like
Yeah. Also, I don't think the VR game necessarily has to have good graphics if it's not going for that. Like, if it's going for like a more like simplistic look, like for example, Beat Saber, like that doesn't have like no one is raving about the graphics, but it's still extremely fun because it's simplistic, but it works. Like the design works for what you're doing. It makes sense.
yeah, I mean honestly, you're just hitting a bunch of blocks to the beat of the music. Like it doesn't need to be like Call of Duty level graphics.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, okay. One of the best games that I've played so far, the in VR, is Super Hot VR. Like that's like the feeling of just being able to like physically like duck under bullets, grab things from mid-air. You can even like grab bullets in mid-air and break them. Like it's an absolutely amazing and unforgettable experience.
I don't have anything else to say. I don't know about you guys.
And Sophie, do you
I
have
mean,
anything to say?
I really don't own one, but you know, it seems the entire concept seems like fun, cause it is. But
Yeah, it is. All
yeah, I
right,
really don't have much else to say.
then I guess that's the end of this one. It was a bit short, but I think it's a really good episode. Um, so also we have a schedule now. The first of every month we will be uploading a main episode. The second of every month we'll be uploading a mini episode, and then the 15th of every month we'll be uploading another mini episode. So that's our schedule, and if it doesn't work, we will change it. Like, but for now, that's what we're going with. So, um, if you enjoyed this, you can go in on our channel and check out our other episodes, and also, please subscribe to this podcast. That would help a lot. And goodbye.